This is Raver discussion of the 90s and club kid culture. And I'm Jacob Soulbox. Hello. Ha 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 ha. I know I look extra busted today, but I just got finished with a performance and this is after the end of the night and drinking and whatnot. The 90s was a decade that saw the rise of a unique subculture known as club kids, who were heavily involved in the rave scene. This subculture was a melting pot of LGBTQ individuals, music enthusiasts, fashionistas, and free spirits who came together to create a vibrant and colorful community that left a lasting impact on the nightlife scene of cities like New York, specifically first, and then LA as well. The club kid movement emerged in the late 80s and the early 90s. This was inspired by flamboyant and avant-garde fashion, the box ideas, and a DIY ethic with anything goes. Kids embraced a style that was all about self-expression and pushing boundaries. These were often a mix of thrift store finds, DIY creations, and high-end designer pieces. Further into the fashion of the club kids, accessories like platform shoes, furry boots, neon jewelry were also common, but were also mirrored as well, and other subsets of the rave culture like the candy kids and anybody else who just took a bunch of drugs. One of the key elements of club kid fashion was, of course, makeup. Club kids would often spend hours creating elaborate and theatrical makeup looks that were inspired by drag queens and performance artists. Bright colors, bold lines, and exaggerated features were all part of the club kid aesthetic, and makeup became a key tool for self-expression and creativity. Although I must say though, a lot of club kids in these early days of the 90s rave scene actually ended up evolving into drag queens later on. And they went on to say that their roots started in the rave scene along with their rudimentary makeup skills. The bar was much lower back then. Club kids were not just about makeup. They were also deeply immersed in the music and culture of the rave scene. It was one of the areas they were readily accepted when in the 90s this was still a rough transitionary period for queer and alternative youth. Music of the rave scene was a mix of electronic dance music, like as we know, house, techno, jungle, trance, and it provided the perfect backdrop for club kids to dance, socialize, and manifest their potential. Of course, it cannot be mentioned the club kids scene without, of course, mentioning Michael Alec in New York. I will not go much into him at all, as there's so much out there already. I do not condone his actions or his behavior, but it cannot be denied his impact and influence on the club kids scene. Not just in New York, but throughout the country and the world. In conclusion, the club kids movement of the 90s was a vibrant and colorful subculture that brought together LGBTQ individuals, music enthusiasts, fashionistas, and free spirits in a celebration of self-expression and creativity, like I have said so many times before in this short segment. My name is Jacob Soulbucks, and this is a history of club kids and the rave scene in the 90s in America, specifically New York and LA. See ya next week as we talk about more random 90s raver shit that you might be interested to hear, you know?